So we're going to move forward. I am super excited because this woman, to me, needs no introduction, but I want you to know who she is. This is Loren Lahav, and I knew her before she was Loren Lahav. I knew her by another name, but she is a dynamic trendsetter with unflappable determination. She calls it Goya, which is get off your ass. She's classy, brassy, and poised. She's shared the stage with notables like Barbara Walters and Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk and Erin Brockovich and Barbara Cochran, you just name it. She's been on Success Magazine covers, talk shows, Oprah's radio show, Women's Day, Fox. She's a leader. She's an investor. She's built leaders in 25 countries. You talk about, when Alec was saying about teams, Alex Stern, she's built teams. She's masterful at it. And I want you to know, had it not been for her 10 years ago, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. So help me welcome my friend, this amazing woman, Loren Lahav. And hopefully she's there. Okay, hi, beautiful. We just need to unmute you. Yes, hi.
Hi. I'm already crying. I'm so proud of you. I just have to start by saying how proud I am of you. That's the most important thing right now, is that you are just, I've taken 6 pages of notes, but just really, really proud of you, because I remember just, when was it? A couple months before this whole thing happened, you had a big mission. And look, you made it happen just with your way of doing it, the way that you wanted to make it happen. So
thank you. Thank you. Hi. So I just need to let people know how we met, because this is going back. We met 27 years ago. Now, being we're both only 30, it makes it hard to believe, but it's 27 years ago. And this beautiful soul who has been in my life for decades, and we met through Tony Robbins. And she is some big shot in that area. You may not have known that if you haven't been in this arena, but if you are, you know. And she has led millions of people and touched so many lives over the years, including mine. And I remember she'd given me a call one day, and she says, "You coming to California?" I said, "No, Loren, it's not a good time." And I gave her my reason. She goes, "No, that's why you need to come." Like, we have gone back and forth for years and decades. And the coolest thing is in Egypt, we were on a trip for the Platinum Partners, as I'm a Platinum Partner with Tony Robbins, and so is my husband Yardley. Loren, out of nowhere, I don't know where you got this, turns around and says, "You're supposed to be helping women." And I said, "No." And she literally starts muscle testing me. She says, "Yes." I said, "No, I teach people how to make money." She goes, "No, you're supposed to be helping women." And again, long story short, I woke up a year later, and I came downstairs and I called my husband Handsome, and I said, "Handsome, I'm supposed to save lives. You need to take over our other businesses." And I get on the computer, and the same conversation Loren and I was having, Dr. Walker took a picture and posted it on Facebook within that day. And I said, "Okay, God, I got the message." So this woman not only builds leaders, she changes lives in ways that are so huge. So here's what I want to start with. If there's one principle that you suggest entrepreneurs need to have the grit, to have the Goya and do it, what is it?
If there's one tip of what people need to do, let me make sure I understand the question correctly. If there's one tip that, not listen to all the noise, man. Like, there is so much noise out there. I think that you can listen to, and you can start, and you doubt yourself so much. Stop listening to all their noise.
Yeah. And how do you do that?
My whole thing is about staying true to who you are. And it's really interesting because Maggie and Alex both shared those two things. And Maggie was talking so much about your values, and that I'm trying to think some of the things that she said there, but really it was just just really listening. And how do you do that? I always go back to the breath. I know that might sound crazy. Every time that the noise kind of kicks in, I just say, okay, go back to the breath. And I just get myself centered and grounded. And I think about, I ask myself the question, what do I need to do to stay true to my message, right? What do I need to remember? Who do I need to remember I am? As you know, another big thing for me is going back to my I am statements and just say, I'm loving, I'm honest, I'm passionate, I'm compassionate, I'm full of faith, I'm God's girl, I'm Tomb Raider type. And I go back and I remember who I am before all the noise kicks in. And the other thing I would remind people is don't get obsessed with hearing all the even positive things about yourself. I think I heard Gary Vee say that once. He said, someone was, "I'm a raving fan of yours, Gary." And he goes, thanks a lot. And he goes, I just want you to know, I heard it and I appreciate it. But he goes, I've got to stay focused on what my mission is. And because sometimes, our ego can take over and we get so like, oh yeah, I'm the coolest, I'm the best. And then we don't really, we get so obsessed with that the noise starts to creep in, And so that's what I would say. I'd say, one, just put on your blinders, get laser focused. There's always going to be things that come up and people are going to want to, what do they say? Opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. And once you start listening to all of these opinions, sometimes you start, this little diversion happens versus you staying true to what you knew that you were supposed to do. It's happened to me. I mean, I can't wait till I sell a company for $300 and something million or $1 billion. I can't wait to do that. Right? I'm not going to say, I'm not the girl that's going to tell you to do that. I can say that I've had those diversions. I'm very blessed to be in the Robbins world. That's given me a strong foundation for things, but it also sometimes diverted me to remembering that, I had a mission, that I had something that I needed to share. And so for many years, I put that on hold. So I'm here just to be real with everybody. About that.
And it's funny because when we met, you had one little child and then another little child and then another child, and talk about work-life balance, that you were not just supporting the Robbins, you started a baby clothes company at one time. You've written books that became bestsellers. You've been mentoring people for decades. And, now you have businesses in 25 countries. You are an investor in real estate. How many income streams does one need? Let's start there. How many income streams does one need?
Well, I mean, for me, my dad was I had these really not great beliefs probably growing up. My dad was an optometrist and he wasn't a great businessman. And he was all about contribution, which, we worked for the Lions Club, we sold brooms, we sold whatever needed to be done, to help raise money, which philanthropy, as you know, is my hotspot. But I had some pretty mixed beliefs about, you can't make money and give back, and I saw my mom. I worked at the flea market starting when I was 5 years old, packing boxes out there, selling things with my mom. So my beliefs about money weren't so great. And now I realize, a dear friend of mine who you know as well, he said something once to me that changed my life. He said, money is just a reflection of how many people that you've helped. And I was like, well, then I want to help, help a lot of people, right? So I need to make a lot of money. And I've always loved real estate personally. For me, it's been something that, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to own, and this might sound crazy to people, but own a trailer park. And so when I told my husband, we were buying houses, what we did was all the income, his income went towards our investments, and then all my income went towards like our daily living. We strategized about it. So honestly, anytime I can have an opportunity to collaborate with somebody, if I can add some value, then I think that, how many does it? I don't know. As many as I can, I guess. I'm still looking for more opportunities to collaborate and help make more money so I can give more. Like I created a product that all the money from that one product goes to my contribution. Like I allocate money for different projects, for different of the business opportunities, to different ways I'm going to give back. Yes. So,
and you're so masterful at it that you even taught your children to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's really it. I think that we need to be the heroes that our kids seek in the world. And, I love to brag about my kids, like you said. And Asher, I remember she was making soaps. Mm-hmm. And one day I was on, and I would not encourage people to make soaps. It seems like that it's a clean process. It's a very messy process. And one day she goes, Mommy, Facebook Live me. And I'm like, all right, what's up, Ash? And so she goes, hi, everybody. I'm making soaps, and I'm making soaps to help all of the animals that were affected by the hurricane. So if you just tell my mommy below that you want some soaps, 3,000 soaps later.
Wow.
But it was great because I taught her, one, like you said, to have that entrepreneur spirit. She's not afraid of anything. Now it went on to become slime company. And then now it's earrings, custom earrings for people. And so I'm very proud of my kids, as you know.
Awesome. So as well as building businesses and building teams, you have 20 teams in 25 countries. Is there a strategy in how you build teams and leadership?
Lead by example. Never ask anybody to do something that you want to do. I think the reason why is people did see me just the same thing that Maggie was talking about, grit. I also think, and I love Alex for sure talking about, I do believe that time management, life management is so important. I've really kind of lived my life in block times. I hear some people's stories sometimes, like, I don't have the time. And then I think about all these other people and what they're able to do, and people that we know, people that we don't know, but they've all got the same 24 hours in a day. And I really look and I prioritize things, and I don't make up excuses. So I think that I have these hats that I gave a lot of my leaders, and it says AE, and it's all excuses are equal. Because as you know, I took my kids on the road with me. Everybody told me there's no way that you're going to be a great mom and be able to do all that you do. And I had to remember, okay, well, what makes me a great friend? What makes me great in everything else that I do? Well, that's what's going to make me great in business. And I love, once again, what Maggie as well as Alex said, stay in your lane. I love the quote, the person that's most resourceful always wins. And teaching my teams to really be resourceful. Stay in your lane. Here's what you need to do. And like they said, delegate everything else. And you said it as well. So.
Absolutely. So what would be the biggest challenge you've had in business, and what's the best lesson you learned from it?
Oh my gosh, what's the biggest challenge I've had in business? I would say, biggest challenge. I've had many challenges in business, I'll be honest. I'd say thinking big enough and more about that I'm worthy to have a big business. I would say that worthiness, that it's okay for me to have a big business. And because I think, I'm kind of known as the girl who's the wind underneath everybody's wings. Like you said, like that picture, it's right over there. It's one of my favorite pictures of you and I. But I think that whole thing of just, and then being able, and then I think sometimes I get a little shy to ask people for their help. I think that that's another big challenge that I've had in the past. I'm working through that. So you've been great with regards to that as well. And I love just how you've really stepped up and just said, I'm just doing it. But that's what I would say.
Awesome. And, there's, if there was a message for the entrepreneurs out there right now that are either affected directly or looking to pivot, what would be some advice you can give them?
Some advice. Don't listen to the noise again. I would say, I think that I've seen a lot of people, especially the people that are obviously part of your event today and that are listening to this event today, that they have looked and they've said, of course we pivot, because life is all about pivots, right? Jim Rohn, Tony, everybody talks about the seasons. You're going to go through seasons, as we know. You and I have been through a lot of seasons in our relationships and our health and everything else. So everything is the same. It's kind of like every cell. What did I hear? That, one, we know that all success starts in your head. So I think that lots of times we look and we see that outer world instead of realizing that inner world, that all success starts in your head. So start feeding yourself some premium fuel about success, making sure you really know what to do to manage your state with regards to clarity, courage, certainty, and confidence. I think that also going back and really looking at your beliefs, what are your empowering beliefs, what are your disempowering beliefs, then going and really looking at that long-term vision, that short-term vision. And then the final most important one of that internal world is for all of us, and I think that's the reason why you chose to do it, is your standards. It's all about your standards. And so you can get locked into the drama, or you can go, what do I need to do right now to raise my standards so that I can really step up and be that leader? And like I said, be the hero that your kids or your grandkids or your friends really see in the world. That's awesome. What you're doing.
Thank you. Oh, I love you so much. So I actually want people to know how to get a hold of you. And you also, I hear, have a great giveaway and a gift for everybody who's here. So will you share that with them?
So yes, thank you. They can go to lorenlahav.com, just LORENLAHAV.com to find out more. And there's 2 gifts I want to give to everybody. And that will be, we're going to do the take 5. Because I think people always have excuses, once again, of why they can't do things. And I already always do things in 5-minute increments. So we're going to be giving them something called Take 5. I will give you where they access that. And also, my once again, contribution is a huge driver for me. And the domestic violence, unfortunately, that has been happened over the COVID has just been off the hook. Unfortunately, I've heard it from so many different avenues. And next weekend, I'm doing an event, once again, for free for you guys, anybody that wants to come, because I want to just really go out there and be able to support all of the people that are dealing with domestic violence. So I'll give you the code in just a minute. I might have to put it in there when we do hang on a second. I'll have you the code in just a second, but there's a Take 5. It's a sheet for you, and I will put it in there for you guys of how to get there.
And we'll make sure we share it as well. Even if it comes after, we'll put it out in an email. We're going to be putting all the guest speakers' gifts in an email, so everybody will get it.
And it's really for free, too, once again, for any women that you know that are going through domestic violence issues, and just for us to support them and be that wind underneath their wings. So I'm proud. I'm excited for the day. Thank you, Lisa, so much.
Thank you. Do you know when you say wind beneath your wings, and I know you know the story, is I always think of my grandma, because that she was always the wind beneath my wings. So, and it's just, you just bring me back there. So thank you.
Thank you.
I love you. And Loren's coming back, everybody. Take a picture with us. # my name, Loren's name, help businesses thrive. We're going to be giving away even more gifts after the Entrepreneurs Thrive Challenge, which is coming up next. You're going to want to be part of it. So stay tuned. There's more, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you.